Happy Hanukkah, Econ Breakfast. I hope you're doing okay. Don't, if you, well, what do we say? I don't want to be blamed for your suicidal ideation. I'm not the cause. I'm not your mom. I didn't do it. I'm sorry.
And there are a lot of people going after Econ right now.
Well,
On Twitter.
yeah, and it's like he got away with it for so long, and now it's all coming down on him.
And a lot of his own side has shielded him from the trolls on the right generally, but now I think less of them are wanting to defend Econ because they realize that maybe he's also making their side look like kind of weak and
Right.
throwing around his chaos for no reason. Like you're not effective if you're just creating chaos. I mean, you want to get to the source of the chaos, the source of the actual trouble, and neutralize the threat with your words. I believe is his intent, but he's falling on deaf ears by going after people who are non-threats.
Right. Or I even started to realize that his hyperbolic fantasy world in which he can demonize me, like, becomes almost like this obscurant, like white phosphorus. It is actually a smokescreen. It really pertains to nothing. And I'm essentially being put as, like, in military formation, the avant-garde is the front lines, and they're the ones most likely to get shot. So he's putting my effigy as this avant-garde because I'm a pacifist. So I'm useful because I don't commit any crimes whatsoever. I don't, throw Molotovs or create arsons. So I'm this safe decoy that becomes this focus of attack. So all the people that hate on me for not being a militant are also, it's kind of like a weird role he's putting me or you into, or, but I guess yeah, I think you should stop bear spraying them, or don't go anywhere near the people that need to be bear sprayed.
I don't want to bear spray them. I never wanted to bear spray these Antifas, but you know the story. They come and attack me.
Self-defense. Yeah, and
I think we discussed this in one of your earlier videos.
I felt bad about did we? I felt bad about self-defense before, like when I was being attacked. Oh, and so like Laura Jadid and that beautiful girl, what's her name?
Mimosa.
Oh no,
Mariah?
she's too. Yeah, she's just not blocking me.
Claudia?
She lets me retweet her, which you can't even yeah, no, she won't talk to me because yeah.
You're a hot subject. That you can only have two alphas in the room who are on the same.
And how does this pertain to you? Because now, if I try to talk about copyright law, their only response is Brandon Farley, and I'm just like, okay, you're kind of missing the fact that I'm a brainiac that have like things to talk about.
And you're the separate entity from Brandon Farley. You always have been.
Well, and how are you not an animal rights leftist pacifist burning Nag Champa who wants to smell like patchouli? Because you've been liked hard by that. Aren't you this hippie?
I'm becoming sort of hippified by your veganism and
Do you want to show off your flexibility trick? You don't want to throw a leg over your head just for old time's sake?
I mean, I don't want to, but
we could. If I'm stabilized. Okay. I mean, just in case they need a good screenshot. Oh, hi. High five. High foot. Ooh, la, la, la. Okay. Ow. All right. So, okay, just for the record, you're not a racist. You're not a fascist. You are anti-Nazi. You're still not a vegetarian, which is...
But I'm a lot less of a meat eater than I was before May, pre-May.
And you're anti-gun. You are pro-de-escalation. You're anti-police brutality. And your kids are black. You've slept with numerous beautiful black women who found you desirable.
Yes, very true.
You've had black children. But why do you get lumped into this terrible category?
Because I'm so anti-racist that I call out their racism. and the fact that I do have a connection with the Black community,
Yeah.
and I have since I went since before I went to a 98% Black school as a child.
Mm.
But in the apartment complex I grew up in, my best friend was Black. Even in a white suburb that I
Right.
lived in.
Well, and I grew up in a Black neighborhood, and I kind of feel like your Black enculturation makes me feel more at home, or you're more intrinsically comprehensive of a multicultural standpoint. Where basically, I don't feel comfortable around this white Northwest Antifa formation because they're so racist. It's very upsetting to me, and it makes me feel very tense the way they try to shut anyone down or shut down Black voices.
It's like they want to make racists. They want to turn you into a racist. I think it's to shield their own.
Well, say my only real racism is against white people. I think Antifa's white racist attitude in the Pacific Northwest is almost intensifying my disgust for what I immediately confronted them on, like, oh, this is very like white trash. But and this is why some of the like Republican or right leaning people will call them KKK Tifa, right? Or the one they like slur them. I've heard that out in like demo footage where they'll call Antifa KKK, and it's just like I didn't know where that was coming from. I was like, well, that's kind of whack because I thought anti-fascism was always going to be anti-racist.
Well, Tawasi was demonstrating KKK character traits when he was called out by
his brothers don't recognize that though. That footage demonstrates he's a verbal abuser. He corners Black people. He uses slave ship metaphors to racially harass them, and all his white Antifa compatriots say you did such a good job fighting fascism.
And then he shows this like large medical bill of him getting popped in the jaw after like antagonizing this Black guy.
Gaslighting Black people, and they're and like the Black people that he's alleging have done something wrong with the equipment, the supplies, or they've taken over right ribs or whatever the hell.
They were burglarized in the middle of the night. They got all
yeah.
The tents,
that came about.
Homeless tent slashed. I was there and I heard
God.
from the guy at BLMK, the new Riot Ribs shack, and they sprayed the homeless people there that were feeding people all day and all night. I mean, I literally went there at midnight one night. I was hungry, walking around downtown, and they just they had barbecue ready, and they said, "Hey, get yourself a snack," and it was a nice, hearty sandwich that kept me. They're doing good. There's no reason.
Well, and it's like Tawasi, even if he's part indigenous, he's white passing.
Yeah,
so
totally.
he's calling the Black person
and
a colonizer.
He sides with whites, only whites. I don't see him hanging out with people who are non-white.
So okay, maybe like the way to be positive in this situation is say I finally just am calling an econ breakfast out for racism because I've been sitting back checking in on him. Oh, you're bullying this Black person, this Asian person, this Latino person. Okay, and finally just having it out when I saw him messing with Mariah, I was like, I've been sitting there dealing with you 9 months of harassing me.
And she's an upstanding citizen. This is someone who works with mentally ill, drug-addicted people in downtown Portland.
And she's a whistleblower for their health and safety, calling out an infestation at Central City Concern. She's a hero. I sent her stuff to the mayor immediately. I was like, this woman needs to be heard. She is brave and powerful. Oh, and she's calling Econ out specifically on his method of super surveillance of her account, reading every tweet, digging through her past tweets from 8 years ago, and trying to catch her. Like, I'm going to catch you in a blackmail. I'm going to ruin your career forever.
Yeah.
He's just salivating. Like, how can I destroy a Black woman today? Did she ever misspeak? Can I misunderstand her sense of humor?
And Econ's lie or claim was that, he had searched the word crazy on her. But first of all, why are you doing these search words on Mariah's account?
Right.
You're actively trying to implement her in something from years ago that is taken out of context, by the way.
Right. And then, oh my God, her way of handling him was so bravo. And then Econ freaked out when I third reader apped her tell off of him. And he's like, oh, this is suspicious. Mary Angus thread reader app, which it compiles tweets. So I compiled tweets through this bot. And then he's freaked out. Here it goes. Mimosa Mariah. Ooh, Mariah. Macaronio calling out Econ Breakfast creeping. Wow, so I have some shit to say because apparently somebody decided to put together a bunch of screenshots of my tweets about how I bought a camera lens, got a new phone, and got fire cupping done on my back and talk about clout chasing. That is why I hate having followers because either someone wants to dig up a bunch of old shit to cancel someone when they could actually have grown as a person or put together a bunch of tweets to make them sound a certain way. That's exactly Econ's method.
What platform is she saying? Oh,
this is Twitter,
thread.
and the tweet thread preserves
Okay.
it. So even if she deletes the account, even if Econ successfully gets her deleted, which is his stated goal with many of the people he torments.
You know, and I had actually watched her. She was fundraising for that camera lens for like weeks and weeks and weeks when all the whites, the racist white streamers out there were getting lots of money from people. They were the ones taking away from the black photographers and the black business owners out there. So she finally got her lens. I'm glad she finally got her lens, and that's really
right.
She's
yeah,
a great
and it's like
anyway.
She can't even celebrate a small victory of her equipment that some white person isn't there to tear her down. Get back into your like low tech digital divide, lady.
With his iPhone 12 that was bought for probably by Robert Evans.
She says and his Bellingcat, which is okay. Anyway, I have had this Twitter account since I was 18. I was struggling. She doesn't have to justify herself. Working to get my own place. I know that.
But she's so transparent.
People aren't perfect, yo. But also, next time, don't untag me from a thread, Econ Breakfast, when you want to put together tweets of mine to basically make a cancel attempt to me.
Yeah, and right now he's locked.
He's untagged her, so she can't know that he's sitting there bad mouthing her while he's recycling her tweets, essentially stealing her text data, her intellectual property, her thoughts, to make himself look cooler so he can get money from his white racist demographic. Look at me make fun of a black woman.
He's been practicing that tactic on me, a black father black kids, you know.
And he doesn't care that you have black kids. He does not care.
He's been targeting me the same way, and this is why I'm so like to see a new victim come out every week or
he has.
When is it going to be enough? When is Twitter going to finally put their foot down and say no? We don't tolerate abuse.
So I mean, how many people does it take to send Jack a message? I don't know, but I sent Jack a message last night because he's.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Hey Jack, I've made hundreds of reports on the man who stalked my partner's home." Did I call you my partner? Ooh, are you my partner? Well, we'll talk about that later. He tweets false things about me daily. I have contacted police, lawyers, everything. He's threatened my partner with a menacing tweet about rape. He was suspended for 2 weeks for a tweet about my partner's genitals repeatedly. Can you help me? I'm a women's rights advocate and I've used your platform to have very difficult discussions about assault and harassment. That's my way of saying I have mixed feelings about censorship. Like, I love my free speech. I've rocked it out. I now see what harm can come. Currently, this stalking account with many additional alt-sock puppets went into protected lockdown when black activists in Portland started calling him out for racism. Thank you for looking at how Econ Breakfast has harassed me during family health crises and during my friend's COVID. I'd appreciate it if you could look into it or explain why his targeted gender-based harassment and endangering of me is not a TOS violation. Perhaps your moderators have overlooked his abuse.
Because he does it
there are hundreds of tweets about me. I've never met this stalker.
He does it in a way, he toes the line of terms of service and figures out how much can he get away with. And then when people start to be like, you know, okay, we're going to report this account.
And so here's Laura.
He locks himself out.
Right, he locks himself out to escape the control. It's like hiding under your bed when your parents come home or something.
And he's lost 200 followers since he's last been locked out.
Hi there, you've basically driven a suicidal disabled trans man and also my friend off the internet and out of his community, says Laura Jadid. To me, in a private DM that I didn't ask for. I just saw her harassing Mariah, calling Mariah obnoxious, and I kind of like, oh my God. Oh. So she's trying to and at this point, if you're suicidal, get help. I do not encourage suicide. I feel very sad that you're having those feelings if it's authentically true. I would suggest stopping bullying me would be a great step in your recovery. Because
yeah, that's definitely
and that's what I said to Miss Laura is that, you know, there's a fine line between, okay, yeah, I'm sure he's had some trauma, but bullying me is becoming the perpetrator, and I recognize that. And if he's basically he needs to stop. I don't know And that was kind of stressful for me to have this beautiful woman I have a crush on trying to be the Ghislaine Maxwell for my Epstein bully, whatever econ breakfast exploiter.
I mean, at least she's open enough to try to see where you're coming from, even though she is disillusioned by this mystique.
No, and that's the
econ
beauty of
has.
it, is that I do respect her for that, and that she'll just honestly state she's trying to monetize the riots.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to block a black woman as she monetizes.
Well, that's right. Laura Jadid did.
And
block
that's
Mariah.
because I got into this DMCA thing where they're trying to hide footage of them doing crimes by having these alternative recycling accounts which recycle their footage and compile it and analyze it, expunged from the internet. Like they want exclusive control and they want to sell it to CNN or something and get famous. And it's like, this is like, it's garbage fires. You're literally trying to monetize dumpster fires.
Yep.
Time-wise. Oh, 60 minutes. So we can go forever. Well, I probably said something offensive to someone. Should I just issue a blanket apology for having self-expression in America?
I mean, if they're still watching, then maybe they like being challenged, or they're I mean, I don't.
It's all about the screenshots. It's really nothing about what we say. And my hair looks terrible. You look gorgeous.
Oh no, you look great, sweetie.
Okay.
You look
Well,
beautiful.
so what will we wish for them? Healing, prosperity, better jobs, better housing, better human relations, kindness, gentleness, respect of animals and the planet, respect of themselves. And that's what I said to Laura. I was like, as soon as Econ Breakfast can show himself some self-respect, in a sense, he's degrading himself the way tabloid journalism degrades everyone. The writer, the subject. His tabloid style is degrading to himself. So asking Econ to have self-respect would mean respecting others and coming at them without like extreme harshness and judgment. And I struggle with that feeling because I think he's actually trying to frame himself as a whistleblower. Like,
Yeah.
there's
But
this
a Cash App whistleblower.
a Cash App whistleblower. There's a 43-year-old girl sitting on her easy chair in Seaside watching an archaeology documentary, and I'm gonna blow the whistle on her. And I'm like, okay, I'm the big bad wolf, and she's just eaten another vegan meal. Oh my god. And it's like, I don't know if he wants me to come help him. Like, what could I do to please Econ Breakfast? I would disaffiliate you, condemn you.
Well, he's evil that. I mean, shout to the high heavens. Brandon Farley is a creep, a known serial harasser, homeless. Fit their whatever their narrative is for this week.
Well, and your interest in helping the homeless has
As a
involved
form of
cinema
homeless.
verite that is over their head. They don't understand that you're trying to expose it like it is versus whitewash it the way they want it.
And none of
the
them
way the
have
poverty
had
pins want it.
the level of experience and length on the streets that I have. So
Yeah, so they have a condescending, glamorized, enjoy poverty attitude about it. Like,
no,
make homelessness look cute on
no,
Twitter.
They're sugarcoating a tragedy. Like
Sugarcoating a tragedy.
when
Yeah.
I was homeless for 6 years, I was miserable. I know multiple young girls who were assaulted on the streets by these drug dealers. And it goes unchecked. The police are arresting people for stealing and drug related offenses, but not for sexual assaults on the street. I think this video is
Coming to a close.
right. You're at the 20-minute cap almost.
Almost, yeah.
That might be another video for another.
That might be another video for another moment.